Hey guys, we're back with another episode for our podcast. This is episode 12. I'm going to be talking to you guys about our trip that happened a couple weeks ago called MIT, our Missions Immersion Trip. Yeah, just to expand on that, we have, with me is Will and Kelly.
Hi.
Oh. Oh yeah, so yeah, expanding on our trip and what we do and stuff, we have our Vice President Kelly.
Hello. Vote for me next semester. I'm just kidding.
New term, Kelly.
So our MIT, our Ministry Immersions Trip is our Ministry Immersions Trip is a week-long trip that we take, whether it be to a different reservation or maybe even helping out like past IBC alumni and just kind of serving them and really putting into practice what we learn at the school, really learning how to, I guess, just getting a taste of what missions really is. And it's really cool because it puts into practice IBC's mission statement of not being the missions field, but being a missions force and really going out and helping others too. So it's really cool.
All right, yeah. So the trip was a couple weeks ago, so I'm trying to remember it myself. But just a little recap of what we did. We did a youth night at
the Karen youth group. Karen is the people group. But
we did that.
Yeah.
And then it was just cool being a part of that, seeing these young youth being able, or really lifting up the Lord and in worship. And it was crazy because the kids that sat by me, they were singing on the top of their lungs. I was like, dang, here I'm just whispering. But these kids just singing their heart out, really just praising the Lord, which was really cool. And just their passion and their love for Christ and how they express it and how they show it is just amazing. And then next day we went to refugees apartment complexes. We'll share that a little bit more down a little bit later. And what was just simply just what we did is that local people there, they had a little, if you're a native, you get it. We do giveaways. You put a little tarp or blanket on the ground, you put all this stuff on there, and then everyone comes out and picks what they want. That's kind of what we did with the refugees. And then the second place, I forget the name of the first apartment complex we went to was Afghanistan group, the Afghanistan people. And then the second one, I forgot how to pronounce it. Do you remember how to pronounce it?
I know there were refugees from the Congo and South America around there. I'm not entirely sure though.
That one's pretty intense. The kids were full
naughty.
Naughty and just full of energy. I was like, oh man. So if you're doing children's ministry, props to you. Hey, that's definitely not for me.
Oh yeah.
What else did we do? We also it was a Sunday. We led a church service for a man named Neil Price. He's I forgot his exact location, but sorry, I'm getting a little distracted here.
We actually have a guest. We have a guest here. Luke, come here. So I'm actually dog sitting, house sitting for a friend of IBC, and they have a dog. His name's Luke. He's right here. So if we're distracted, sorry. He's a big boy.
So if we don't pay attention to him, he's gonna howl at us. So
yeah.
He's like, pet me. Yeah. All right, but we led a church service and it was all student led. We had a student led worship. We had a team, full students, all students leading a worship team. Out of all the the years I've been here, I never saw that. It was always just Daniel and every other student, but Daniel wasn't a part of it, and it was just that was actually cool to see. IBC mixtape coming soon.
Yeah.
So I'll stay on the lookout for that.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I think we had 2 guys share the message, and that was pretty good as well. And then the next day, we helped out at that same church with Pastor Neil. Did a lot of yard work, landscaping, and went to a landfill. That was gross. Got poked by a bunch of thorns. A lot of things happened, and that was actually pretty fun too. Pretty tiring though. And then worked at UIM. Do you also want to explain UIM, Kelly?
So UIM stands for United Indian Missions, and I actually have their purpose statement pulled up right here. So the purpose of UIM shall be to establish and strengthen churches among Native, Mexican, Hispanic, and Cuban communities of North America, built on the scriptures and functioning within their cultural orientation. So we were able to connect with them down in Phoenix and clean up, help around their little campus, and like they have a little missionary place where like whether it's like missions families or like people can come and stay if they need to. And it's a very beautiful property. I really liked it. They had like orange and grapefruit trees, I think, and lemons. And it was really cool to see like Will Fellows. He's the I saw him looking you.
It's what he's been doing the whole time. I was like, I don't know why he's looking at me.
Okay. So it was really cool to see Will Fellows and his just seeing his heart and like how him and his wife like they run that whole property, and it's crazy like seeing him put that much like care and putting that much care into his facilities when it's just them. But it was cool to connect with them and even help out around their campus, his campus. So
yeah, it was also cool too, like because he gave us a pretty good price for all of us to stay there as well, and just because it's a lot cheaper than a hotel, Airbnb. Will really hooked it up on that one. So yeah, we worked at his. So we were able to do also landscape yard work for him, and then. We also and then the following day after that one, we also, I'm like blanking out here. We still continued to work on the UIM, and then we also went out to, the recent podcast you guys listened to was Tina and Luke. We actually went out to Luke's family's, his church home, and we had to help out with his church and get to meet Luke's family, and got a bunch of Luke vibes. Yeah, so that was actually pretty cool being able to serve him or serve their family in that way.
Not the dog Luke. Yeah. We're talking about Tina and Luke Lassaloo. Yeah. This is Luke Johnson.
Yeah, Luke Johnson, the husky. Yeah. But yeah, so like man, it was there was some like labor, yard work stuff. It was also a lot of like socializing. Because I'm a big introvert, and then that killed me like crazy. I was like, people.
Yeah, man. I was kind of alluding to this the whole week of it. The week was so tiring. Like it was just like one of the most tiring MITs I've ever been on. I mean, obviously we have our other MITs where like we do the manual labor. And we're around each other. We get to kind of converse with the people we're working with and who we're serving. But this one, it was more like we're actually going into it. And we're like, really socializing and talking to people, not like doing side projects. But it was very draining. It was a very, very draining week. But it was really good too.
All right. So what we're going to do next is we're going to talk about this is open to me, Michael, and Kelly. What was your takeaway from MIT? A highlight, a challenge, a high, a low, a complaint? No, I'm just kidding. So you can stop petting the dog, Michael. Just kidding.
Michael, you want to join this podcast?
Yeah, so Michael's just over here really just petting Luke. But if we don't pet Luke, he's going to howl. So you may hear some howling in this podcast. Yeah, what do you got to say, Michael?
Yeah, so for me, this year's MIT was it was pretty fun. Yeah, the student body really isn't that big. You know, when people hear college, they think, oh, like there's a bunch of kids and like over a lot, like more. I don't know. Like there's a lot of kids or students, but IBC is actually pretty small. There's not more than we barely even break 20. So yeah, it's a pretty small school. So being able to hang out with other students that I don't really hang out with, mainly because I'm either what do you call it, inside like doing nothing, or yeah, I work for the school, so I make soap. So I'm either like doing like stuff like that, but for the most part, I'm just keeping to myself because it's like schoolwork. That I usually procrastinate to sometimes. But yeah, so I'm not really able to talk to a lot of the student here, just the ones that, you know, I hang around with the most, which is mainly the guys, because like the dorms. But we have like some events. So yeah, I don't really get to hang out with much of the student body as like I kind of hope to. So being on the MIT allowed me to do that, to be able to hang out with some people, get to know some people, and really just be in that community, because like kind of IBC's main thing is community. So being able to talk to other people and like find some common interests and stuff and really just hang out with them. So, but the places we went to have been pretty cool too. I've never been to one. So seeing an environment like that, like it was like a small little community, and I was like, whoa, like how do they make it work? So it was pretty crazy actually, but seeing them in the way that they live was just seeing that the way they live was actually, you know, pretty kind of hard to see just from the way I grew up. So it wasn't so much like, I wouldn't say like a new thing I saw. Yeah, I grew up in a really kind of like property.
There's Luke.
That's Luke.
So I don't know what you want. You want me to pet you again? I can pet you. Come here. I'll pet you. Come here. There you go. Yeah, so I grew up in like a really, I guess, low income poverty kind of base home. And it was really traditional too. So like we had no electricity or water or anything like that. So I remember there would be church people that would come to our village sometimes and basically do the exact same thing. They would lay out a tarp thing full of food, or not food. Sorry, I'm hungry. Full of clothes and like just different things and stuff like that. And the village people will come out to like see what's going on. And like there would be fights and all that and stuff like that because they want something. And yeah, like, and people will be taking more than they really need. So yeah, I've been in like situations like that before. One time they did a raffle and kind of my sister won a sewing machine, so that was dope. But yeah, just being in that situation like that and how they were in kind of brought back like just memories from when I used to partake in those and stuff. And so when I came to Flagstaff in 2019, I got lavished, I got bougie lifestyle, had running water, could plug in my phone whenever I wanted to. Yeah, electricity, man.
Running water.
Yeah, so I could flush.
Yeah. You had to go to the outhouse.
Delicacy. Yeah. But yeah. So just things like that I like made me reflect and how much I've what do you call it? Kind of things I take for granted. It also kind of brought me back to my roots. Yeah, because I came here and I kind of started living like in a way that I always wanted to live. And from that kind of just, I don't know, like it kind of changed who I was. And so like I went home a couple of days ago and like I saw the way I used to live. And on the way home, I was talking to my sister about it. And I was like, man, I honestly don't think I could live like that again. Like it was just hard for me. So seeing them like, yeah, in the way situation that they were kind of like brought some hurt and just felt I don't know, it was like sadness. But so what I did too was I was able to do a sketchboard kind of evangelist kind of thing. So I was able to put up this cool little thing and paint on it and really just present like the gospel to the kids. And that was really fun. I also did like this little illusion book that blew their minds, blew my mind too. Yeah, so it was really fun. But throughout the rest of the week, it was really, I really enjoyed it, being able to talk to other people and just connecting with them. So that's, I think, what I have for now. I'm not entirely sure. I'm distracted.
Yeah, please keep petting dogs so I won't throw an attitude. What about you, Kelly?
For me, I think, I don't know, it was a very mixed MIT for me. I had a lot of, there was good, and then there was also the hard times of strained relationships, just because like it's just a really stressful week. And like people, I remember people kept asking me like, how does it feel to like see this kind of come together? Because being on student council and vice president, like you're doing a really good chunk, along with like your other team members, you're doing a good chunk of the planning, and you're basically trying to figure out what we're doing, who we're in contact with. So just kind of, honestly, it was just kind of like a riding the wave thing throughout the whole entire week. We wouldn't even know like what we were doing until either the day of or the night before, and it was just really I think this MIT really allowed me to, or it pushed me to put my trust in the Lord more, knowing that so I'm kind of like a control freak. So it's really hard for me not to know what we're going to do, or like what our next move is, who we're talking to, and just the minute details of that. It's really hard. So I was pretty stressed, and obviously I kind of took that out on my peers, and it wasn't good, but I was very thankful for their patience with me. And I think just through that, that was a really good highlight as well, like seeing people having grace with me where even like I feel like I didn't deserve it. And then even like the student body having patience as well, and just kind of rolling with the punches. I think that was a very encouraging thing to see. And one more thing. With the refugees, like the Afghani refugees, and then with the 2 different apartment complexes, it was very, it was a reality check, honestly. Because as Michael said, like we kind of know what that's like, but this was just kind of something different. To me, at least, it just seemed like it humbled me to see beyond my own circumstances, and to see how much I'm grateful for, but how much to really pray for people, and to really just having a bigger heart for those who are coming out of war, who are refugees, and who aren't even like, I mean, I can't even imagine having to leave from your country with honestly probably just the clothes on your back and your children, and coming to a country where you don't know the language, you don't know the culture, you don't know anything. And it's a very sobering thought to me. And I praise God like that we don't have to deal with that. I mean, as natives, we can look back to the historical trauma, the historical removal of us, but like we can kind of relate in that sense of being, torn from your home and just, being replaced or being placed somewhere. And I really enjoyed it. Oh, I enjoyed it, but I had a hard time with it. And just, it helps us see like outside, even as natives, like we can become so focused on like our own plight and our own like hurt, where we're just like, natives. But then you see this and you see these people hurting, and you're like, wait, it's not just about us. And I know for me, I can have tunnel vision. I can have that tunnel vision of focusing on our own hurt, my own hurt. and not really seeing others. So it was a really good time, I guess. So
Yeah, I would say the biggest like highlight was I was really blindsided just within the first 2 days because of these these youth, these like youth, and then also like little kids as well. These little kids were about sitting about maybe a row ahead of me or maybe 2 rows ahead of me, and they were singing the worship song. I forgot the name of the worship song, it slipped my head, but powerful lyrics like through the storm, like I will be still and know you're God. And I was like, oh man, like those lyrics just really struck me. And seeing these young kids and little kids like really just singing on top of their heart. And I was standing next to Jerry, and I was already all like literally, I was all crying. I was like, this is beautiful. And like how we talked about the apartment complexes. For me personally, like I really never saw that at all in my life, where just to name a few things that were on the ground for these people to take. It was like, some old clothes. These clothes had stains on them. They weren't clean. Like I remember Cornell was all looking. Cornell was all looking at what they're all getting. Cornell pulled out a cassette tape. And I was like, dang, I haven't seen those in a long time. Like Cornell was like, I know. And I was like, dang. But like this is like the stuff that they were giving out, and literally the Afghanistan, the people were surrounded all of us while we're laying all this on the ground. They're just waiting for us to like, okay, go ahead, And as soon as they got the okay to go through all the stuff, man, they went in. And I really liked how Tim thought of it, because I thought the same way. Like when you see those like Black Friday videos, or people in stores fighting over a TV or fighting over a game console. Yeah, so like these guys weren't fighting over, like TVs or PS5s or game consoles. Chill out, Luke. Anyways, Luke's distracting. I'm sorry, guys, but Luke, chill out. Let me finish. That's what really blew my mind. Like they weren't fighting over these like a TV and stuff. Like they were literally fighting over something that was handed down or thrown away. So I feel like Luke is just killing the moment. It's not as deep as it should be, but that's just really like it just blew my mind, because like they weren't fighting over something brand new, but they looked at it as treasure. They looked at it like, man, this is awesome, And there was a little altercation that went down, and these two guys were fighting over something, and it was pretty heated. But at the same time, though, like it was just all new to me. Like I'd never seen that before. So I haven't even seen that at powwows, like, not that like trying to be funny, but like I literally never saw that at powwows. People fighting over something, but.
just kidding.
Gallup. Yeah, Michael knows a lot about Gallup. No, I'm just kidding. No, but that was just really a big takeaway for me, because I never really thought about that and never really experienced anything like that. And kind of it just made me realize like it really like broke my heart too, because there was a lot of kids there. Like Michael was saying, he was sharing this sketchboard with the kids, and like some of those kids were probably at least they were kids, but some of them probably were my son's age, and I would not imagine I can't imagine like seeing my son go through that. It would like kill me. And but it really just made my heart break for, these kids, because they're not aware of what's really happening or why they had to leave their country. They just did what their parents were doing, and some of them may have lost their parents as well. So yeah, it was a whole new experience for me. And yeah, I always just how Kelly said, it's not just natives that are going through it. It's like these people from Afghanistan are really going through it as well. And that's what tripped me out too, because going to Phoenix, I only go there just to get in and out, or something else. But I did not know that these apartment complexes are even there in Phoenix, and that's what even blew my mind even more. It was MIT was just really different.
Yeah, so this year's MIT was a little bit different for everybody, just because, like how Kelly was mentioning in the beginning, that we do things kind of differently. So we kind of go to a church or someplace and we just help out and stuff. But I don't. Just in the 2 times I've done this, it's been like that. I don't know about Will, but if this is the first time where we've actually gone to different places and such a runaround like this before.
First time. He
said first time. So I don't think the mic could catch that part, but it's too late. But yeah, this was he said his first time, just the way they did things and stuff. So I think it was a great experience for everybody there to experience an experience such as this experience that we're experiencing. Yeah, so if you were to experience it, I'd recommend experiencing it. So, just kidding.
That's good.
But yeah, so just to close this, I don't know if you have anything else to say, Kelly. Well, she's good, so no, I'm just kidding. No, okay. Yeah, so just to end out this little episode that we have, just want to thank you guys for listening. And so just to reflect for all the listeners out there, yeah, just kind of everything that we kind of spoke about and stuff, just kind of reflecting on that, just, taking the time throughout this week to really just look at the place where you live, just the appreciation that comes with it. Because I know I used to, I want to say hate the place I lived, just I just didn't like the situation I was in. And now after experiencing all that, it allowed me to appreciate what I have now and to not take anything for granted. So yeah, there's real world events going on out in the world. And there are things that are happening that are the things that we imagine, but things that are reality to other people. And to just really just reflect on that, and just, the appreciation that comes with it, to, the people around you, to be, thankful for them. And, if there's anybody out there who, you don't really see, I would say, check on them, text them, call them, send an owl or something like that, whatever gets the message across. Yeah. But yeah, just the appreciation of that, what we all have. Yeah. So as we bring this to a close, I will say thank y'all.
Thank you. Bye.